We are cool kids. Are you a cool kid? Every day I want it. I need to drink lots of it. Full of fruit, vitamin C. Give me lots of it.
My imagination is growing and so am I.
I'm getting big. So give me fruit of cool kids. It's so juicy.
So I could touch the sky. Become a cool kid now by visiting www.fruitycoolkids.com.
Good evening, assalamu alaikum, and welcome to See Results on IBN TV, and we are also streaming on the IBN TV Facebook page as well as the See Results Facebook page. I am Sir Ijaz, and today I'll be taking you through some mathematics. But of course, as you know, today is Monday, and on a Monday we like to look at your performances on the quizzes that were posted last weekend. All right, and which were due Friday gone at 11:59 p.m. Of course, we try to give you a quiz every week on the mathematics and English language arts content that we covered, as well as a creative writing piece. All right, and you have basically a week to do so. All right, so throughout this program, you'll be seeing the code to register for our web class on edmodo.com. All right, it's accessible via any web browser, or you can also go to the Play Store or to the Apple Store, Windows and so on, and download the Edmodo app. All right, and you download that app and register with the code that will be on your screen. And of course, you can join us and you can look forward to doing those quizzes. The great benefit of it is that you get your feedback instantly for the math and the English language arts. All right, as soon as you've completed the quiz, you can click or select to review the quiz, and you will see all of the questions that you did, those that you got right, those that you got wrong, and you will also be given the correct answer. So let's move on now to our weekly web class report, where we highlight basically an overall picture of how the students performed on our various exercises. So our class now, we've gone up to 594 student members, all right, and we have basically 23% of the parents actively following their child or ward's progress. What this means is that as soon as we post any assignment, we post any quizzes, the parents also get a notification, all right, so they can encourage their young ones to go ahead and participate in our assessments. Very important. We have seen time and again, especially with some of our newer members, once they open the quizzes and they aren't quite ready to do it as yet, or maybe they're just inquisitive as it's their first time, all right, and they're not sure exactly how to proceed, and then they end up exiting the quiz, and you get a mark of 0 unless you have actually attempted the questions and gotten any correct at all. All right, it's basically like a real exam. So once you open one of the quizzes, there's a timer, and you can't opt out at that stage. Okay, you have to basically complete our quiz within the stipulated time, so it's very realistic. Okay, so parents, please bear that in mind. And of course, this is why we encourage you. It's not really necessary strictly to have a parent account. It could be that you have a student account on your personal device as the parent, and that you monitor your young one while they are taking these quizzes. okay, because it's only for like 10 to 15 minutes basically that they'll be doing one of them for, and you can ensure that they do it within the time frame and that they don't stray when they are supposed to be doing their assignment, because if they switch to another app, you know, they do something else and the time has elapsed, that's it, they won't be able to retake the test anymore until we open it back up, perhaps for the carnival weekend, when we'll probably be opening all of the quizzes. So if you're a new member to our class, you will have an opportunity to do everything, all of the quizzes, you know, except for the creative writing assignments that were posted since we began in November, all right? So what about the particular individual assignments? So we had 107 students who did the English Language Arts quiz this week, which was about possessive adjectives and pronouns, and we saw that 82% of the students passed this quiz, and they had a class average of 68%. So what this means is that, you know, the majority of the class, they passed, all right, and altogether they were able to attain an average score of 68%. Of course, this can vary very much for your individual child or ward. So you have to look at the results for these particular quizzes / assignments, and you will get their individualized score and their individual percentage. The reason we share the class performance is because, you know, when we put the data together and we look at them together as a class, it sort of shows what topics that the class performed better at and what they are not performing so great at. And that really is a very good indicator of where you need to be spending more of your time studying and preparing and revising and so on, okay? So that's the English Language Arts. And then in the mathematics, we had a quiz that dealt with arithmetic mean, which was basically that of section 2. So it's a bit more challenging than the questions we did on mean from section 1 some time ago. And there were also questions on percentages, all right? So we looked at percentages, basically how to convert from fractions to percentages, percentages to fractions, percentages to decimals, all right, decimals back to percentages, and so on. So it was very comprehensive, and we had a lot of questions there for you that were a bit challenging in a good way, right? So to make sure that you are on top of your game. And 64% of the class passed with an average of 62%, all right? So, of course, you know, anytime we notice we are dealing with anything to do with decimals in particular, all right, and conversions from, you know, one unit in decimals to another unit, or one form of expressing a decimal, you know, be it that of a fraction or a percentage, and you're doing these conversions, it does seem to give the student population a bit of a challenge. So, you know, there are workbooks, there are textbooks, there are so many resources where you can pull up questions, and there are answer sheets, all right, and so on. If you yourself as the parent or guardian don't feel 100% up to the task, all right, you can refer to those answer sheets when your child has completed those things. Please don't neglect to work on those areas, you know, especially the individual feedback that you're getting. You know, some of our students are doing really well most of the time, and then there might be an area or two where they don't excel as much, all right? That's fine. Spend some time and help them to better themselves in those key areas. So, of course, on Saturday, we also posted our new assignments and quizzes that are due on this Friday at 11:59 p.m. So if you haven't done them as yet, you have today and you have the rest of the week, basically, up until 1 minute to midnight on Friday to complete those quizzes and assignments. And, you know, it's really in your interest to do that. All right, so please do it. It's at no cost to you, and it will help to take you forward in your preparation. We have you know, very limited time until the SEA exam actually comes, which is on the 2nd of April, all right? So not a lot of time at all. And, you know, as we do, we like to highlight those students who have achieved very well, excellently. But we do say this with the caveat that it's not only about this, attaining the top marks and getting your name up here, although yes, it's encouraged, because in striving to, hit this mark, you are going to, eventually or incidentally get better yourself, all right? So even if you don't hit the hundreds, you will be there in the 90s, you will be there in the upper 80s as you continue to strive for this. But of course, we do still highlight our students who have attained it. All right, so we have Angelina Andrews, who got, total in both the ELA and the math, as well as Joshua Barrow, someone that calls us very regularly, Ishan Gangaram, someone that's newer to the class but has been featuring very often, now in our top performing list, so congratulations to you. We have a new name here on the list that I haven't seen before. I can only assume that this might be, a nickname, Rocco Gunmetal. We had a John James getting 100% in both. And, we had quite a lot of students getting full marks in both English and math this week. We also have Shane Ramjit, a name that's always there or in the honorable mentions, so near the top all the time. We have Nicholas Rampasad, Joseph Ross, and Caitlin Sunarine, another student that's come on board a bit later but has been doing exceptionally well. And then we have a host of students who just missed out on this, 100% achievers by just a mark in either maths or English, all right? So we have quite a number of names there. We have Brianna, Aditya, Sherwin, Talia, Sebastian, Jaden, Zaria, who was in, the 100% performers for a few weeks running. All right, she just fell a little bit short this week, but as do many of the names that you're seeing here. They have been at the very top before. They've come back down to this level, and they strive and they achieve, their full potential once again. So it's always aiming to be in this vicinity, all right? We had Dominic Kublal, Jacob, Faith, Devon, Rebecca, and Jonathan Sinanan. So our students really did particularly well in this particular week of assessment, all right? So we had several of them actually getting 100 in both, and a fair amount of them also coming up just 1 mark short in either subject. And in the creative writing, we have Zaria again, and Sebastian, Ishan, and Jonathan, all names that you would have seen before, as well as Talia, who did at the very best, or just a mark shy also in ELA and mathematics. So these students are working very hard, and they're achieving in all the subject areas that they are being tested on in SEA. And again, we want to say, congratulations to all of our students whose names have been up here today, and also to all of our students who are trying to get there, all right? It's just an impetus, it's just a bonus, a motivation for you to continue working harder, all right? Even if your name never gets here, that's fine, as long as you continue to see improvement. But, you keep trying and you never know. You just may end up on the program. So now we are going to move along back into our mathematics. Okay, where did we leave off last time? We basically started looking at the concepts of volume and capacity and how we convert between the different units of volume and capacity, and especially so with respect to the questions that are brought in the section 1 of the SEA paper. All right, so you'll realize that there are a lot of topics in mathematics to cover throughout the 4 strands. All right, there's a lot of work to do and a lot of different levels of difficulty within it. All right, so this falls under the strand of measurement. All right, and as we said, the measurement questions take up 9 of the 45 in your SEA question paper, 4 in section 1 and 2, as well as 1 in section 3. So just to recap, for those of you joining us for the first time today, and also, maybe you missed us last week Thursday, we have a few more questions to do on the topic of volume before we move on again. So just to recap, when we speak of volume in mathematics, what are we referring to here, especially for the SEA paper? We are dealing, a volume is a measure basically of the space within an object or the space occupied by an object, right? For example, the space within a box, carton, bottle, tank, room, etc. And we can speak of the volume of liquids and solids, right? So we can measure the volume of both liquids and solids. And when we are speaking of capacity, we are basically speaking about liquids alone, right? And, you know, they both sort of refer to the same thing, just one in terms of solids and liquids, and one being liquid alone. All right, and so there's some examples of capacity, you know, is the amount of liquid that could be stored, for example, in a gas tank, in a pitcher, in a bottle, soda cans, etc. And you will see that capacity or the volume on those items at home. If you look at your, you know, your chubby bottle, your Fruta pack, and so on, you're going to see how much there is within those containers. So when we are dealing with the volume of solids and liquids, the units that we typically use are the milliliter, the liter, and the cubic centimeters. That's for capacity or the volume of liquid specifically, right? We don't use liters or milliliters when we are talking about solids. This is strictly for liquids, right? But we also can use the cubic centimeter, which is equivalent to the milliliter, by the way, and we'll see that again in our conversion chart very shortly. And when we're dealing with solids in particular, for the purposes of the SEA paper, you will either be using the units of the cubic centimeter or centimeter cubed, or the cubic meter, or the also called the meter cubed. All right? So just to remind you of those units and how they are interchanged, or how they are converted between each other, we have 1,000 milliliters making up 1 liter, 500 milliliters making up 1/2 of a liter, 250 milliliters making up 1/4 of a liter. We have 1 cubic centimeter being 1 milliliter, 1,000 cubic centimeters making up a liter, and you'll notice that that is basically the mirror of this on top here, right? And we have that 1 cubic meter is equal to 1,000 liters. So these are the key conversions that you have to know, and we looked at several questions which dealt with those 1/2 and 1/4 liters, you know, dealing with the amount of containers that could be filled from a larger one, and the amount of containers that could be filled completely, and so on, right? So I do invite you, if you missed last week Thursday's episode, it is available on our Facebook page under the videos tab, where you will get, just look for Thursday's date, all right, which was the 13th of February. And also you can go to our YouTube channel, right, See Results, just look for us on YouTube, and you'll see the videos there that were done on volume so far, all right, volume and capacity, and they are nicely titled, and there is information in the description about exactly what was covered, right? So feel free to subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. So now is about the time when we are going to open the phone lines up to you, and we are going to try to finish up these remaining questions that we have on conversions, right? All of the conversions last week dealt with going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit. Now you'll observe that we are converting from a smaller unit to a bigger unit, so you're going to tell me what's the difference here, right? So I have a caller on the line. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Jordan Navarro.
Welcome to the program. So can you help me convert 1,500 milliliters to a liter?
That is equal to 1.5 liters.
1.5 liters. And how did you get that?
I moved the point to the left 3 times.
And why did you move it 3 times?
Because 1 liter is equal to 1,000 milliliters.
Excellent. You moved it 3 times because 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. Thank you so much for your call. All right, so I know you all are very eager to call in, so I'm going to give as much of you an opportunity today as possible, so I'll take another call. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, and who am I speaking with?
Jacob O'Reilly.
Welcome to the program. So I have 12.5 milliliters to convert into liters. What is the answer for that question?
0.0125.
0.0125.
Yeah.
And again, there's 1,000 milliliters in a liter, right?
Yeah.
So you basically move that point again 1, 2, 3 times. Excellent. So that's correct. All right. So that has been our first 2 questions so far. We have these 2, and we have about 3 more remaining on this next page. So if you want to help us answer these questions, the numbers are there for you on the line. I have a caller. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Hi, good evening. This is Nicholas.
Hey, welcome, Nicholas. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thanks.
So, Nicholas, what is 6,500 milliliters in liters?
Liters, 6,500 ml. So liters, that's 6,500 divided by 1,000, and I'll give you 6.5 liters.
6.5
Liters.
liters. Excellent. Thank you so much, Nicholas.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right, and I have another caller on the line here now. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Joshua.
Hey, welcome, Joshua. So, Joshua, you saw that you made it to our top performers this week?
Yeah.
All right, congrats. Well done, right? So we have 20,000 cubic centimeters to convert to liters, Joshua. How do we do that?
You multiply 2 pieces to the I think it's to the right, the left to left,
Right.
and then you get 20 liters.
Very good. So 20,000 cubic centimeters is the same as 20 liters, right? All right, very well done, Joshua. All right, so we're moving along now, and we have 3 more to go. So we have 125 cubic centimeters. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, and who am I speaking with?
Nathaniel.
Welcome, Nathaniel. So, Nathaniel, can you tell me something about the cubic centimeter? Is it the same as a milliliter or not?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right. How many cubic centimeters are there in a liter?
1,000.
1,000, right? And how many milliliters are there in a liter?
1,000.
Right. So, therefore, that makes them equal to each other, right? So, the cubic centimeter and the milliliter are the same. Both of them, it's 1,000 of them that make up 1 liter. So with that in mind, how much is 125 cubic centimeters as expressed as liters?
1.25 liters.
All right, so how did you arrive at 1.25?
Divide by 1,000.
All right, and when we're dividing by 1,000, how many times we have to move our decimal point?
3 points.
All right, so will that give me 1.25?
Yeah.
All right, count it with me. I move it once,
1,
twice, and 3
2.
times. So is it 1.25 or 0.125?
0.25.
0.125, right?
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Nathaniel.
You're welcome.
All right, so it's one of two things there, right? It's either, just a genuine slip, or seeing that centimeter. Remember when we are dealing with centimeters to meters, that there are 100 centimeters in a meter, right? Don't let that confuse you. We are dealing here not with centimeters to meters, we are dealing with cubic centimeters, which is a unit of volume, all right, into the liter, which is also a unit of volume or capacity, right? And there are 1,000 of those cubic centimeters within 1 liter. So we are dividing by 1,000 and not 100, all right? Therefore, we have to move our decimal point 3 times. So I have another call on the line. Good afternoon and welcome to See Results.
Hi,
Hi, and who am I speaking with?
Lionel.
Hey, welcome, Lionel. So, Lionel, what is 2,250 cubic centimeters as liters?
2¼ liters.
2¼ liters, right? Very good. Why did you say 2¼ and not 2.25?
Because I divided it and I got 2¼
All right, okay. So well done, Lionel. You are very correct. So 2.25 is the same as 2¼ Remember, we dealt with our fractions, our common fractions, or the popular ones, and their decimal equivalents, all right, especially 1/4, 1/2, and 3/4. Those are decimals that we need to know offhand, right, or by heart. So 0.25, notice that there would have been a 0 here, and we move that decimal point 1, 2, 3 times to get 2.25. We do not need to write that last 0 there, so we cross it off, and we get 2.25, which is the same as 2¼ right? So Lionel is correct. And I have another caller on the line. Good afternoon, caller, and welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Joshua again.
Hey, welcome back, Joshua. So, Joshua.
Sorry, the other phone number. Well, G is 3 liters.
3 liters, right?
Yeah.
All right, excellent, Joshua.
Thank you with that.
So you notice that again we are dividing by 1,000, and we have to move that decimal point 3 places to the left, which would give us 3.000. But those zeros there, none of them has any value. All right, so we do not need to actually include them in our answer. So we have an answer of 3 liters. All right, so guys, that is basically as much as we'll be covering for now in volume and capacity. All right, these were all section 1 type questions, so I hope that it has brought some clarity to you. And of course, this weekend when we give you further questions on volume and capacity, in addition to those that you did or you are doing this week based on last week's work, you can look out for more that have to do with converting from the smaller units, which are the milliliters and the cubic centimeters, into liters, right? And as simple as it looks, just moving that decimal point, a lot of students continue to struggle in that particular department. So parents, of course, we ask you to do ensure that these students of ours get even additional work on these topics. All right, so now that we are done here, we are going to be moving on to a new strand, or to another strand, in this particular case, geometry. All right, but before we do that, I'm going to take a break for a couple of minutes, and I'll be back with you to continue on to our next strand and the next section of the paper. All right, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors and roti makers. Try our high quality unbleached bromate free all-purpose and baker's flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisha Limited 665-3336 or visit us at Warrenville, Canupia. Shiklisha Limited, quality you can trust.
For the everyday lowest prices on all grocery items, trust Low Cost Supermarket for the widest variety of quality products at low prices. Freshly picked fruits and vegetables, healthy products for your well-being, high quality meat cuts, and a warm and friendly service. Low Cost Supermarket, Southern Main Road, Canupia.
Assalamu alaikum, good evening, and welcome back to C Results on IBN TV, as well as on the C Results Facebook page and the IBN TV Facebook page. So we've just wrapped up there our volume and capacity sessions, right? Volume and capacity, it falls under the strand of measurement, right? And now we'll be moving on to geometry. So just a reminder again for the parents, right? There are 4 strands that you are tested on for the SEA. It is number, measurement, geometry, and statistics in that order, right? Number being the question, or the strand, sorry, that has the most questions, then followed by measurement, which we just did one topic there in measurement from the first section of the paper. And we have done now basically all of the questions that come in section 1 of geometry on the paper. So we are into our section 2 of the geometry paper at this time, right? And how is geometry basically spread out in the paper? There are 3 questions in section 1, 3 in section 2, and 1 question in the final section, all right? And those questions in section 1, they are for 1 mark each. The questions in section 2 are 2 to 3 marks each. And your section 3 questions are worth 4 marks, right? So bear that in mind. But of course, we are aiming to get the maximum mark in all of our sections. So give every section, every strand, every question its due regard. Okay? All right. So we are going to be looking at the topic of patterns this afternoon, right? So there are 3 basic types of patterns that you might be tested on in the SEA paper. And these patterns are very similar to what we studied in the number sequences, right? Remember when we had that nice session on the number sequences, we had a list of numbers separated by commas, basically, and we had to investigate these numbers and look at the relationships that were taking place between them, or the rule, I should say, that applied as we move from one term in the sequence to the other term in the sequence. So this is something like that, all right? However, we are not dealing here with numbers. We are dealing with shapes and figures, you know, of all kind, right? And we have to basically interpret them and see if they are a repeating pattern, you know, an increasing pattern, a decreasing pattern, And sometimes we might be asked to, continue the pattern or to isolate something from the pattern and so on. So it's basically having to do with patterns within figures or shapes, right? And there are some terms that we need to be familiar with, right? So particularly for the repeating patterns, there's something called the core, right? And the core of a repeating pattern is the basic group of elements, right, within the sequence that repeats itself. So a lot of words there highlighted in red, right? The core, as we said, it is that repeating group of elements, right? That is what we refer to when we are speaking about the core. And the elements, as we'll see in a moment, is each individual unit basically within that pattern. It's called an element, right? And we are saying that those groups that are repeating over and over within the sequence is what is known as the core. So we are going to open up those lines again for you, and all of these questions are basically like those that will come in your SEA exam, right? So have a very close look at this pattern that we have here on the screen right now. And we are asked to circle the core of the pattern that was used to make the necklace. So this here is an incomplete part of the pattern, right? It's part of a necklace that is shown, a lot of different figures and shapes that are strung together. We are looking here at one piece of that necklace, right? And we have to determine what the core is. So if we can just zoom in a little on this question here, and you'll look at the shapes and try to isolate the group of elements that is repeating in this necklace. So I have a caller on the line. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Good evening.
Hi.
Jacob again.
Hey, welcome back, Jacob. So, Jacob, what do you think? And you can name the figures, right? You can name the shapes in the order that you think they are in the core of this necklace.
I think the core of the pattern starts from the arrow pointing down and ends at the star.
All right. So let's examine that. We have an arrow, a circle, a heart, and a star. Is that what you are basically telling me?
Yes.
All right. So let's see if that complete core repeats itself again. So arrow, circle, heart and star, right? And we have arrow, circle, star, and heart.
Yes.
Very good. So if you know what's missing on this particular side of the core here, would be what? Another circle.
And an arrow pointing down.
And an arrow. So that might be on another part of the necklace, right?
Yes.
All right. Excellent work. Thank you so much for your call. All right. So our caller was able to isolate the core of this particular pattern here. And he is quite right in doing so. All right. So I hope that that makes sense to our callers. The core here is the down arrow, two circles, a heart, and a star. And we notice that they are continuously repeating. All right. Okay, so that there is our core for number 1. Now we have another question that you are free to call us and give us your help with, right? We have the core of a pattern here being 2 stars, a diamond, and 2 smiley faces, right? So this is the core. We don't have to find it, right? And it says that the core of the pattern is repeated 9 times. We want to know how many more stars would be drawn than the smiley faces if you repeated this pattern 9 times. So I have a caller. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, and who am I speaking with?
Jacob again.
Hey, welcome back. So, can you help me out here with this question?
Yeah.
Right.
Since the core of the pattern is 2 stars, a rhombus, and 2 smiley faces,
Right.
therefore, if it was repeated 9 times, there would be 18 smiley faces in total
Right.
and 18 stars in total.
Right.
Therefore, there would be a difference of 0.
Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent work, Jacob. So that is the correct answer. So viewers, if you follow along with me now, I'll just reiterate what Jacob said there, right? We have a pattern that consists of 2 stars, a rhombus, as he rightly said, and 2 smiley faces. And if this pattern here was to be repeated 9 times, we would have 18 stars and 18 smiley faces, right? So what would be the difference? This here they are trying to trick you a little bit, all right? They want to know how many more stars would be drawn than the smiley faces. Of course, because they are the same number of stars and the same number of smiley faces within the core, we are going to end up here with a difference of 0, all right? 18 subtract 18, which gives us a difference of 0. Another way that we could have done it is to look at the difference within this core as it is right now. All right, we have 2 smiley faces and we have 2 stars. What is the difference between stars and smiley faces here? Right, it is 0. 2 subtract 2, which would give us 0. So if we have it repeated 9 times, we basically are saying that we are multiplying 0 by 9, which gives us a total of 0. So those are 2 ways that we could have arrived at the answer. We look at the difference between stars and smiley faces for 1, and then we multiply for 9, or we multiply by 9 to get the number of stars and smiley faces, and then we subtract them from each other, and we'll end up back with that very same 0 as our answer. So I hope that that's very clear. And I just wanted to reiterate something here. You know, we were speaking about the different terms here for our patterns. We had that of the core, all right? And we said that in order for it to be a repeating pattern, we need to have the same basic group of elements, right, that is known as the core, within the sequence repeating itself, right? So each individual shape here is an element, right? And we can even label them or number them in order, right? This being the first element, second element, third element, fourth, and so on. But what makes this question unique is that we are not sure that this is actually the first element in our pattern or within the sequence, because it's just part of the necklace, right? So we had to look at it carefully and look for the pattern that repeated itself, and that gave us the core, right? So just to make sure that everyone is on board with that particular understanding, and because this group of symbols or elements, individual elements, they repeat themselves, that is how we can identify this group of elements as being our core, all right? So we are not sure in this particular instance the order of the elements in terms of which is first and which is last, all right? But just know that each individual shape within the sequence or pattern is known as an element individually, all right? So that was just to reinforce what we said there in our opening, all right? So we have another question on the board here. We have a pattern shown below, and we need to draw the 35th element of the pattern. So unlike our necklace question where we were given a part of the sequence or a part of the pattern, here we have the pattern from the beginning, right? And now we have to basically look at that pattern and forecast, look into the future based on the repetition of the core and determine what shape the 35th element of the pattern will be. Now this could take some doing, all right? So you can have a look at it there on the screen, take your time, come up with a strategy, and let's discuss it, all right? So I have a caller on the line already. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to See Results on IBN TV.
Hello?
Hello, and who am I speaking with?
Jacob?
Hey, welcome back, Jacob. Jacob is on a roll today. All right, Jacob. So what do you think will be the 35th element of this pattern, Jacob?
Okay, I think the core of the pattern starts at the pentagon and ends at the trapezium.
All right, it starts at the pentagon and ends at the trapezium. Let's verify that. So you have a pentagon again, a star, a cross, and a trapezium. Pentagon again, a star, a cross, and a trapezium. And then we have the first two elements of the next repetition of the core. All right?
Yes.
All right. So what is your next thought now?
Okay, I think the third element of the core would be the 35th element.
The third element of the core would be the 35th element. Any particular reason that you are thinking that?
I was just counting. I was just looking at the core and counting each.
Okay, you are looking at, okay, all right. So you are a very fast counter, Jacob. All right. So what do you mean by the third element of the core? Which element is that?
The one after the star.
The one after
I don't know
the
what
star.
shape that is.
Right, so it's kind of like a cross basically. Right, so this is the first, second, third, and fourth elements of the core, and your contention is that this third element will be also our 35th element, right?
Yes.
So therefore you will have to remember they asked you to draw it, so you need to draw back that symbol, right?
Yes.
All right, so thank you very much, Jacob. Now let's take a deeper look into this and see if Jacob is in fact correct. All right, so we have a couple ways that we could do this. All right, the first way is to isolate the core of the pattern, as Jacob did very correctly, right? And remember, the core are those elements that are repeating themselves within our sequence. All right, so this here we have the pentagon being, you know, the first. All right, then we have the star being the second. We have the cross here being the third element, and we have our trapezium being our fourth element. All right, so if we were to continue now repeating this pattern in a straight line, right, but let's not do that. Let's actually stack these patterns one on top of the next. All right, the fifth element therefore would be a pentagon as well, right? Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 up to the trapezium. We start again at fifth, right, with another pentagon. Then our sixth would be a star. The seventh would be this cross. The eighth would be another trapezium, right? So we can add another 4 to each of these, because you notice that the difference between 1 and 5 is 4. The difference between 2 and 6 is 4. The difference between 3 and 7 is 4. And the difference between 4 and 8 is 4. All right, so for the position of these different elements within the sequence or within the pattern, we just have to keep adding 4 to tell, you know, in what position they will be as we move along. So our next pentagon is going to be, therefore, the 9th position, the next star in 10th, the next cross in 11th, the next trapezium in 12th. All right, so that's why it was a bit impressive that Jacob counted that so quickly, right? We add another 4 here. we get the 13th, we get the 14th, for the star, 15th, for the cross, and we have the 16th here for the trapezium. Let's go again, we add another 4, we get the 17th, we get the 18th, 19th, and the 20th. All right, so we're getting up there in numbers now. Add another 4, we have the 21st, we have the 22nd, we have the 23rd, 24th. Let's go again. All right, remember this is a section 2 type question, so it's a bit more difficult than the section 1, so it does require some thinking and some effort. All right, we have here the 25th, the 26th, the 27th, the 28th. All right, let's add another 4, the 29th, the 30th, the 31st, and the 32nd being a trapezium, and we are going to get our 35th now. All right, we have our 33rd element being a pentagon, our 34th element being a star, and our 35th element is a cross or a plus sign, right? So basically, what this means, people, is that within this pattern, which can go on, you know, ad infinitum, as they say, forever and ever, we'll notice that you start with 1, you keep adding 4, and you will get the position of all the pentagons within the pattern or the sequence. You start with a 2, and you keep adding 4. You're going to get the position of all of the stars within the pattern. The same goes for the cross. You start at 3rd or 3, and you add 4 continuously. You're going to get all the positions of the cross within the pattern, and the same goes for the trapezium. You start with a 4, and you continue adding 4, and you're going to get all of the positions of the trapezium within the pattern. And this very much reminds us of, you know, what we did in the number sequences episodes, which again, you can find them on YouTube. All right, we started with 3, then the next element in the sequence was 7, then 11, then 15, and so on until we got to 35. All right, so if I gave you this sequence and I asked you basically to give me the next value in the sequence, you would look at the difference between the elements, all right, or between the terms, which is what we'd see when we're dealing with the number sequences, and verify, you know, with more than one subsequent pair of numbers, what rule is at play here. And you'd recall when we did those exercises, it can be much more complicated than just adding and subtracting. All right, the rules can be more complicated than that. But for this particular sequence, the rule is just to add 4. All right, so we'll see that that is how Jacob is quite correct in stating that that particular shape will be the 35th element in our pattern. All right, one other way that you could have done it is to basically draw, we had the pattern repeated 3 times with 2 additional elements there being shown at the end. All right, so altogether, the first 3 times that the pattern repeats, all right, would give us a total of 12, all right? Then another 12 would have given us 24, and another set of cores, basically 3 of the cores side by side by side, right, would have taken us to 36. So, you know, if you're more of a drawer, right, you could have stacked those up, one on top of each other. Of course, this might be a way more tedious way to do it, but you never know, all right? Maybe somebody might opt to do that. And of course, the 35th element would be this penultimate one here, which again is the cross as Jacob said, all right? So, all right. So we have here now an example of an increasing pattern, all right? So if we can get a closer look here, you'll notice that we have a number of L's here, and each of these L's is an element within the pattern, all right? And we want to basically draw the missing 4th and the 5th elements of this pattern, okay? So I can't really ask somebody to draw for me on air, all right? So let's look at what's taking place here. We have basically for the first element, we have 3 squares together in the form of an L, all right? Then the next one, we have 5 if you count them. Then the third one, we have 7. So what do you think is going to be the 4th element? It's going to be, or it's going to consist of, what is the pattern there? The pattern is to add 2, all right? So we have to add 2 more, and we're going to get 9, okay? And you'll end up with this, with an L, all right? So my drawing here is freehand basically, because we are strapped for time, all right? And that is basically what the 4th element will look like. And if it was drawn, you know, with the same dimensions of these squares here, it would be a bit taller, all right? Then we have our 5th element, which has a total of 11 squares. And we have our final element would consist of 13 squares here. And again, we'd have this cornerstone or this corner square, and we add 6 more either side, and we are going to get an L with 13 squares, right? So note here the correlation, as we said, between these patterns and the number sequences that we studied before. They are very much interrelated. So I'm taking one last call, right? Remember, we had 3 types of patterns. We had the repeating pattern, the increasing pattern, and the decreasing pattern. So looking at this pattern here on the board, is it a repeating pattern or is it not, right? How do we tell? So if you have any idea about this particular question, feel free to give us a call now and do assist us with this. All right, so the numbers are there on your screen. All right, I have a caller on the line. Good evening, caller. Welcome to See Results.
Hello?
Hello, and who am I speaking with?
Caleb, ma'am.
Welcome, Caleb. So Caleb, what type of pattern do you think we have here on the screen?
Increasing.
Right, and what is increasing in this pattern?
The triangles.
The triangles, right? So excellent job. He is very correct. We have a square, a triangle, and a circle. So what does that repeat? No, we have a square, triangle, a triangle, and then a circle, right? And then again, we have the square and 3 triangles. Excellent. So the triangles is increasing by 1 each time, right?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Caleb. All right. So that is it for me for mathematics for today. Thankfully, we've covered all that we intended to. And in a couple minutes from now, you'll be joined by Miss Nyla with English Language Arts. Do subscribe to us on our Edmodo page, all right, on edmodo.com, right? The code is up there on your screen right now. Download the Edmodo app. And please do complete your assignments for this week. I will see you tomorrow when I'll read some of your creative writing pieces, God willing. Subscribe to us on YouTube as well. All right, I have been Sir Ijaz. Good evening. Assalamu alaikum.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors and roti makers. Try our high quality unbleached bromate free all-purpose and baker's flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisha Limited 665-3336 or visit us at Warrenville, Canupia. Shiklisha Limited, quality you can trust.
Prices on all grocery items. Trust Low Cost Supermarket for the widest variety of quality products at low prices. Freshly picked fruits and vegetables, healthy products for your well-being, high quality meat cuts, and a warm and friendly service. Low Cost Supermarket, Southern Main Road, Canupia.
Assalamu alaikum, good evening guys and welcome to C Results. I'm Miss Nyla and now we have English Language Arts. So welcome to one and all. Those of you who went to school today, I trust that you had a good day at school. I know it's a lot of work and as I tell you every week, we are one step closer to SEA, right? So we just have a couple weeks to go and we have lots of work to complete. I want to say welcome to all our viewers, whether you are joining us on our Channel 8 or on our live stream on Facebook by the C Results page or the IBN TV page, right? So as you know, ELA, we are on to section 2 of the paper. And currently we are looking at graphic representation. So last day we just touched on the graphic and today we're going to be expanding on that a little more. Right now the graphic, like we said, more or less the same type of questions. What you need to do basically master them. Right, the few common questions that you get all the time, and I'm going to share with you a few things that you can do as well to help you along the way. First, you must understand if you didn't join us last day and you missed that intro topic or introduction on graphic, we're just going to do a little recap before we move on. Right, so a graphic, the aim of it is to show the stages of a process or event, right, or it might be to represent data or to state how something happens, how often something happens, even to compare and contrast things, or to show patterns or trends over a period of time. So all of these are ways in which our graphic may come. It's up to you to interpret the data given. Right, so we are going to jump right into it. And before we start the questions, I just want to remind you guys, right, there are two ways you can approach this. If you want, you can look at the graphic just as given to you, right, in detail, and you can read it thoroughly before you get to the questions. Remember, there are certain things that you are looking for when you are reading. Pay attention to the title, pay attention to things written in bold and capital letters, anything that might be given to the extreme bottom of your graphic, or even to the right, or any illustrations given. In general, when I'm telling you, pay attention to everything given on a graphic. It's there for a reason, and they're going to question you on it one way or another, right? So don't be careless and leave out one or two things if you don't want to read it. Maybe the print isn't to your liking, but try your best to read it and just to get the idea of the graphic. The second way to approach this, you can read the questions first, right? So now when you go back to the graphic, you have an idea of the things that you are looking for. So for example, in your question, they asked what was the title or the venue of the event advertised on your graphic, right? You know in your mind that's a question coming, you are skimming for an answer already, right? So those are two easy methods that you can use, right? It's really up to you. What's your choice, what's your preference, and how you choose to approach the graphic, right? The method we are using here, we are looking at the graphic, we are reading it carefully, and then we are going to go to the questions. Remember, for your graphic, it's a total of 10 marks. This is your last task in your ELA paper, right? So it's an easy 10 marks for you to get. Each question is worth 2 marks, right? And of course, you must answer in complete sentences, correct spelling, and so on, right? After all, it is ELA, and those are things that they are looking at. No, I'm not saying that they are marking you if you spell a word incorrectly in this section, because there is a spelling section, but still you need to be mindful and careful of your work. Don't rush it, right? Good. So let's look at this first graphic that we have here, right? Orange Hill County's Family Sports Day 2018. Here underneath that title or heading, you see 3 pictures, 3 illustrations here, right? You see a guy. What do you make of this picture or illustration, right? What comes to mind when you see this, or even this and the last one? Now, I'm not going to tell you as yet, because as you go along reading your graphic, it's going to become clear to you what they want you to visualize here. And even from reading this heading here, you have an idea about what this is all about. Moving on, right? 25 Saturday, August, which means the 25th, which is a Saturday, and it's in the month of August. And obviously, we already know the year that is taking place. Time is given 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Orange Hill Recreational Grounds, right? So you have your date, you have your venue, and you have your time. Moving on to the next part of the advertisement. Games for all ages. Bring the entire family and come have a fun day of fun and family time, right? In finer print now to the bottom here, we can probably zoom in this a bit, written in capital letters. They have here face painting, bouncy castle, track and field, water sports, speed cricket, small goal competition, novelty races, and more. And to the bottom here, they have contact us at 640-6303 or orangehill@gmail.com for more information. Right, so before you get to the question, guys, the questions aspect of it, notice what is written in capital or what is written in bold, right? Why is that information written as such? What is it telling you? What are they trying to point out to you, right? So be mindful of that. Pay attention to the pictures, special attention to date, venue, and time, and to activities taking place, and for the additional information given at the bottom there, right? It's fine if you need to read the advertisement twice. That's even better, provided that you have the time, right? Remember, you're working with time. Time management is really important and crucial for SEA, right? So usually about 15 minutes for this section, 10 minutes for the least, right? Those 5 questions in this section is going to take you not that much time, probably about 8 minutes, right? If you're a fast writer. And so just leave sufficient time for you to complete the section and, of course, to check over your entire paper. Right, so let's go to the questions now. So as you know, from question 39 to 43, even in your SCA paper, just as I have on the board here, it's going to be based on the graphic representation given. This one is entitled Family Sports Day, right? Read the question together with me. Give one purpose of the flyer. Use one example from the poster to support your answer. So we're going to open the lines. You're going to call. You're going to share your answer with us, and then we're going to look at the answer that we have provided here for you, right? So that question again, give one purpose of the flyer. Use one example from the poster to support your answer. Now, this is a really popular question, and we get questions like this all the time, right? So I have a call, and I'm going to take this call. Good evening, and welcome to See Results.
What?
Hi, good evening. Welcome to See Results.
Good evening. My name is Gemma Williams.
Sorry, can you say that again?
My name is Gemma Williams.
Okay, thanks for joining us. Do you mind lowering the volume on your television set, please?
Okay.
Thank you.
Is that better?
Okay, great. So we have this question here. Give one purpose of the flyer, and then you have to use one example from the poster to support your answer. So what do you think is the purpose of the flyer here?
The purpose of the flyer. I think the purpose of the flyer is to encourage families to take their loved ones on an exciting day of sports.
Yes, that's great. That's a great answer. We'll accept that. And what is one example to support that answer from the flyer here?
Because the flyer says bring games for all ages, bring the entire family and come have a day of fun and family time.
Excellent job, right? So we know for sure you are getting 2 marks in that first question, right? And so we just have here, in addition to that answer, you could also have one purpose of the flyers to advertise the sports day. Or you can say, so thanks for calling. I'm not sure if I have that call still, but thanks for calling. Or you could have written one purpose of the flyers to inform families about all activities at the event, right? So either one of these answers are correct. Remember, it's not that if you don't have the answer that I have here, it's incorrect. You know that. It must be closest to the correct answer, right? And of course, your examiner will know that when they are marking your paper. And I did not give an example here, but the caller previously gave a wonderful example, right? It's written nice here for us in bold, bring the entire family, so we know it's a family event, right? So great job, 2 marks so far. Number 40, state 2 activities at the event that will attract young children. And I have a call on the line to help me. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Good evening.
Hi, welcome. What's your name?
Jacob.
Hi, Jacob. So I want to know, state 2 activities at the event that will attract young children.
Okay, I think 2 activities.
So we're just going to, just give me 1 second, Jacob. So we can probably just zoom this a bit and scroll to the bottom. Okay, I'm not sure if they're hearing me there, but okay, go ahead, Jacob.
2 activities would be face painting and bouncy castle.
Right. Thanks for calling, Jacob, and your answer is correct, and you have gotten yourself 2 marks. Now, the activities here, we have more than 2 activities. So you could have given us any 2 activities from the various activities listed here in any order. If you want to say small goal, well, actually, the question says state 2 activities at the event that will attract young children. Right? So while that answer is correct there, we're looking at or focusing on the activities here that will attract young children. Now, yes, track and field can attract young children. What about some children enjoy small goal competition? That competition may be for teenagers or probably for older persons. It could have been face painting or bouncy castle, even some water sports, right, and novelty races. Right, so choose your answer wisely, and it must be appropriate, right? Number 41, when and where will the event be held? All right, and I have a caller there to help me. Good evening, and welcome to See Results.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good evening, and welcome to See Results. What's your name?
Jordan Navarro.
Nice to have you with us. So number 41 here, when and where will the event be held?
Okay. Yeah, I can see the...
Are you seeing it now?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So we want to know when and we want to know where.
It will be held at 25th, the Saturday of August, and It will be held at Orange Hill Recreation Grounds.
Anything else that you might want to add to that answer?
9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m.
Yes, you are correct, right? Thanks for calling.
Yes.
Right, guys, so make sure when you are adding information from the flyer, you put all the information that they are asking. They ask you for when, and they ask you for when, right? So they're asking for time, and they're asking for venue, right? So you could say the event will be held, of course, in a complete sentence, on Saturday, 25th August from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. at Orange Hill Recreational Grounds, right? Or recreation grounds, that's fine as well, right? So be sure to give us all the details that they're asking for. Remember, this question is only 2 marks. If you give us half the answer, then you will get half the mark. And it's like I said, it's a very easy 2 marks, so you don't want to lose half of that mark by not reading the question properly or not giving all the information that they are asking for. And number 42, do you think the illustrations used in the flyer are suitable? Give one reason for your answer. And we do have a call on the line. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Hi, Jenna Williams again.
Hi, Jenna. Welcome back. Number 42, do you think the illustrations...
Jeremiah.
Sorry?
I said Jeremiah Williams.
Jeremiah, sorry. Do you think the illustrations used in the flyer are suitable? How many illustrations are you seeing on the flyer?
Illustrations, you mean in bold print?
All right, so that's a good question there. What does illustration mean?
That's a good question there. What does illustration mean? I actually can't remember what it means.
Sorry?
I can't remember what it means. Sorry? I can't remember what it means.
Okay, you can't remember. So if you get a question like this for essay, what will you do? What do you think you will do?
What will you do? What do you think you will do? Well, I can't ask my teacher for any help, so I'll have to think of the word in my brain for myself.
Right, that's exactly what you'll need to do. So think about it. I'm giving you a couple seconds.
Illustration, is it instructions?
No. Think again. Look at the question, right? And see if you can get the answer from the question what I'm asking you about. Do you think the illustrations used in the flyer are suitable? What can they be asking you about that is suitable there?
The images.
The images, very good, right? Images or the pictures, right? But thanks so much for calling. Unfortunately, I can't take your answer. Maybe you can call me back after the break. We do have to take a break. It's time for Maghrib, so guys, don't go anywhere. We have more questions when we come back.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Assalamu alaikum, good evening guys, and welcome back to C Results. If you're just joining us, we're on to section 2 of the ELA paper and we are looking at graphic representation. So we already looked at quite a number of questions and we are on to question 42 in the first graphic for today's lesson. Right, so this is the graphic here. Right, we are looking at this, and if you were joining me before, we know what this graphic is all about. And the question that follows is, do you think the illustrations used in the flyer are suitable? Give one reason for your answer. Right, and what I'm noticing, not only today, but last day as well, when we were looking at graphics, and we looked at, or came across the word illustrations, quite a number of students are struggling to give us the meaning of the word illustration. Now that's really, really important, guys, because they're not going to, then most likely they're not going to say, do you think the images used in the flyer are suitable? It's not that it's incorrect or anything like that, but they would rather put illustrations, right? Just as we are seeing here, just as we saw last day, and just as we are going to see in the upcoming graphic representations, right? So please, if you don't know the word, if you come across it, even if it is here with us, please try to remember it so that will help you in your graphic representation, right? And I have a caller on the line to help me with this question. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening. What's your name?
Nicholas.
Hi, Nicholas. How are you today?
I'm good.
All right, so we are on to number 42. Do you think the illustrations used in the flyer are suitable?
Yes, I think the illustrations are used in the flyer suitable because it gives an idea to the reader readers who does not understand.
Right, and do you know the meaning of the word illustrations?
Yes, pictures.
Pictures, right? Okay, yes. Nicholas, thank you, and thank you for your call.
Okay.
Right, so that answer is correct, right? It also appeals to the persons who may not be able to read well, right? It gives them a visual representation of some of the activities that may be taking place on the day of the sports, right? Or you can also say, yes, I think the illustrations are suitable because they are showing sporting activities and the flyer is to advertise a sports day, right? So either one of those answers is correct, right? And let's just look at the graphic here and remind you of the illustrations we are seeing here, right? So I did not explain it before, right? So this illustration shows you probably somebody playing football, running after a ball, this here, which also goes with the activity of small goal competition. This illustration here depicts the activity of water sports. And this one here, somebody riding a bike, probably speed cricket, I'm not sure what is speed cricket, but maybe one of the novelty races as well, right? So all of these are activities that they will be having on the day of the competition. So those are the illustrations there. Number 43, using details to support your answer, who do you think will be interested in this event, right? The lines are open. Feel free to call us, give us your answer, right? It's okay if you're not sure. The important thing is that you are trying, getting ready, getting prepared for the SCE exam, right? So that question again, using details to support your answer. So you must use details from the flyer given. Who do you think will be interested in this event, right? Now this one is also straightforward, and I'm going to tell you the answer is going to come from the flyer. And I do have a caller to help me. Good evening and welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening. Okay, I think I lost that call there, but I'm going to give it a second. I have another caller. Hello. Good evening and welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening.
Hello.
Hi, good evening and welcome to See Results. Caller, are you there?
Yes, I think. Yes.
Okay, so can you see the question?
Yes. I think the person who will be interested is the young children because they like the novelties and the speed races and all the sports. So I think they'll be interested in the fun day.
Yeah, that's correct. Any other persons you think might be interested? Okay, I'm not sure if that caller went there. That answer is correct, right? Or you can also say, I think that people of all ages will be interested in this event because it says games for all ages and activities that are listed as suitable for children teens and adults, right? So yes, it's for children, but the sports day is also advertised for families, right? Which includes children, adults, and teens. So all of these people may very well be interested in the sports day. The important thing here is that you give your reasoning for your answer, right? Explain your answer, just as we did here. Yeah, and you will be awarded your marks. So we are now on to our next graphic here. Now this one is a little different, right? So look at it closely, right? And pay attention to the details. We are seeing a picture of a butterfly, a picture of a bird, right? And now let's read this graphic. So you have to zoom in a bit. It's a little bit, the font is a little difficult to read, right? But once you're close to your paper, you will be fine, right? Cool Kids Chewies, right? Chewable whole food multivitamin for kids made with vitamins, minerals, and 24 fruits and vegetables. So I'm going to read that again, right? I don't want you to miss any details here. Cool Kids Chewies, chewable whole food multivitamin for kids made with vitamins, minerals, and 24 fruits and vegetables. Naturally flavored berry, mango, and orange. Distributed by Trinimed. To the right here, you'll see new and improved. And to the left here, you see certified gluten-free, right? So pay attention to this flyer here, the information. Again, what is written in capital or bold or probably in a fancy, appealing font, right? Any illustrations that they give you, any fine print to the bottom or to the right or to the top, any additional information, pay attention to everything that they are telling you, right? Do not take any of the information given for granted. Everything here is going to be tested in the questions, right? So let's look at the first question. We know it's based on the advertisement, Cool Kids Chewies. Right, so the lines are open. Feel free to call us and help us answer these questions. If you look at number 39, it says, what is the purpose of the flyer? The first question in the previous graphic also asks the purpose of the flyer or the poster. So you are seeing a pattern here. You are seeing repetition in the questions, right? So be mindful of that. I have a caller to help me. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Hello.
Hi, good evening.
Hi.
What's your name?
To follow McIntosh.
Nice to have you with us. Do you mind lowering the volume on your television, please? Call, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. So number 39 says, what is the purpose of the flyer? So they're asking you here, why did they create this flyer, in other words? Right? So what is the purpose of the flyer? Okay, I think we lost that call there. Right, and I do have another caller to help me. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, what's your name?
Jacob.
Okay, Jacob, thanks for joining us again. What is the purpose of the flyer? Right, this question, like we just said, is asking you, why did they make this flyer? What do they want us to know? Right, so what is the purpose of the flyer?
I think the purpose is to advertise the Cool Kids vitamins for kids.
Yeah, that could work, right? So that's an easy 2 marks, right? So thanks for calling and giving us your answer, right? So the purpose here could be to advertise a new brand, a new vitamin, right? Cool Kids Chewies, right? So your answer, simple. The purpose of the flyer is to advertise the product, and you can go on to further into that, like we just said, to advertise the product, and you can give us the name of the product, right? All of that is fine. Number 40. Why do you think the phrase new and improved is used in the flyer? Right? Hello?
Hello?
Is it Jacob?
Yes.
Okay, Jacob, your answer was correct, but thanks for calling. I'm going to give someone else a chance to help us with this one, okay? Okay, I'm not sure if he left, but thank you for calling, Jacob, and the lines are open once more. I want someone else to help me with number 40, right? So first you must understand the question, understand what they're asking you, and then you can proceed to answer the question, right? Number 40 says, why do you think the phrase new and improved is used in the flyer? So if you get a question like this, my advice to you go back to the flyer, right? Locate on the flyer what they are saying or what they are pointing out here, right? And then you can analyze and put it into context what they are truly asking, right? Let's give this caller a chance to help us. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Good evening.
Hi, welcome. What's your name?
Andy.
Hi, nice to have you with us. So what do you think is the answer for number 40?
Can I see the flyer, please?
Sure. Can you see the part of it that says new and improved?
Yes.
Okay, great. Right, so that's the first thing we must do. We must go to the flyer and look for that part that says whatever they're asking for in quotation, right? So
Yeah.
what do you think that means?
I think it means that it is more better than what it was before, or it has more better things in it.
Well, not more better, but just better, right?
Yeah.
Better than the one that it previously had, right? So your answer is correct. So thanks for calling. And of course, I know, okay, so I know that this answer will be put into a complete sentence, right? So you could have said the phrase new and improved is used in the flyer to attract customers by letting them know that the product is better than before, right? So yes, they probably would have had this product before, but now this is a new and improved version, right? They're adding different things to it to make it better, right? Hence the reason they have new and improved, yeah? So that's again, 2 marks again, right? And number 41, what is the name of the product in the flyer? So number 41 has 2 parts, each worth 1 mark, right? So we're going to break it down. We have a caller to help us. Good evening and welcome to See Results. Hi, caller, are you there?
Hello.
Hi, good evening. Welcome to See Results.
Can I see the flyer?
Sure. What's your name?
Can I see the flyer?
Okay, no problem, but what is your name?
Jaden Paul.
Okay, Jaden. So the question says, what is the name of the product in the flyer? What is your answer to that?
Cool Kids Chewies.
Cool Kids Chewies. And would you like to do part 2 to the question?
Yeah.
Okay. Which company is responsible for the distribution of the product? Before you answer that question, what does the word distribution mean?
What do you mean? Means who distributed to the product.
All right, but who is going around marketing the product, right? So who is going to the grocery to sell it and the pharmacy and so on, right? Which company, right?
It is distributed by the Trinimed.
By Trinimed, yeah? Okay, you are correct. Thanks for calling.
You're welcome. Bye.
Okay, bye. Right, so that question had 2 parts, right? First part, the name of the product in the flyer is Cool Kids Chewies, right? That was written in a fancy font and quite big for us to see to attract our attention, right? Easy 1 mark. Second part, the company that is responsible for the distribution of the product is Trinimed. So you see, guys, all the answers so far is straightforward. It's coming directly from the poster, right? That's what I'm saying. Read the poster carefully. All the information is there. Let's go on to our next question. Do you think the product is suitable? Give 1 reason for your answer, right? And suitable here meaning for children. Yeah, and I'm going to take this call to help me. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Hello.
Hi, good evening.
Hi again, this is Gemma Williams again.
Okay. So do you think the product is suitable? And I'm saying here suitable for children, right? And give 1 reason for your answer.
Can you go back to have a good graph, please?
Sure.
Can you go back to have a good graph, please?
So is this product suitable for children?
I think the product is suitable for kids because in the slide, chewable whole food in multivitamin for children,
Right.
made with vitamins, minerals, and 24 fruits and vegetables.
Excellent, right? So you are correct. Yeah, thanks for calling.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Right, so that answer is correct, but I just want to remind you guys, please lower the volume when you are calling, okay? So that question, do you think the product is suitable for children? Give one reason for your answer. Yes, you can say, yes, I think the product is suitable for children because the product is for children and words such as cool and chewies appeal to them. Right, so let me just explain what I mean here. Now, yes, we can say also this answer is correct, right, where it is chewable, so that is child-friendly, right, and it contains multivitamins and made with vitamins and minerals, and has 24 fruits and vegetables, right, which we know is good for children and their bodies and healthy for us, right. Another answer could have been the way that they're written. This is how you interpret the question, right? Yes, I think the product is suitable because the product is for children and words such as cool and chewies appeal to them. So if you see, they're saying here, if you see a product, right, and it's written cool kids and it's spelled like this is how some children appreciate language. It appeals to them, right? They say, well, this is child-friendly and chewies appeal to them, right? So meaning that, again, child-friendly, and that's easy for them to eat, and they will enjoy eating something like that, right? I don't know how many of you still enjoy chewies or chewy vitamins and so on, right? So either one of those answers is correct. It's about how you interpret your answer as well, right? Don't worry too much about if you give me an answer as the last one or if you give me an answer what the caller gave. The examiner will know exactly what you mean, and they will put it in context according to the question, right? But of course, try to answer as nearest to the question as possible. Number 43. Do you think the illustrations in the flyer are appropriate? Give one reason for your answer. Right, I'm going to let this caller here help me with this one. Good evening and welcome to See Results. Hi, good evening. Caller, are you there?
Good evening.
Hi,
Yeah.
welcome. What's your name?
Can Self.
Nice to have you with us. So, do you think the illustrations in the flyer are appropriate?
Yes.
Why?
Just 1 minute, please.
Sure, take your time. It's also important that we take our time, look at the illustrations, and see if it makes sense to us. If it doesn't make sense to us, you must give us a justifiable reason.
Excuse?
Yes, what are you thinking?
I don't understand it.
Sorry?
I don't understand it.
Okay, so they're asking you of the illustrations. What are the two illustrations you are seeing here?
A bird and a butterfly.
Right. Those illustrations, does that have anything to do with this flyer?
No.
Okay. So you're saying no, it's not suitable, right? But tell me why. So that's the question, right? And this is how SC is going to pose the question to you. They're going to ask you if it's appropriate or suitable, and whether you say yes, or if you say no, you have to explain why. That's how you're going to get that full 2 marks, right? That's what they're looking for there, your reason. So why is it not suitable?
Because it doesn't deal with the
product?
Chewies.
Okay, all right. No problem. I'll take that answer, right? But thanks for calling.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're telling me no, right, please justify your answer. So, no, I do not think that the illustrations are suitable because a bird and a butterfly has nothing to do with cool kids' chewies, right, or a chewable vitamin or anything like that, right? So that's fine. Thanks for calling, right? So I don't mind that answer. The examiner as well will also take that answer, but the important thing is how you explain yourself. You cannot just say no and don't give us any further details, right? You are not going to be awarded marks for that. And I'm going to take a next call to help me with the same question, right? I'm going to see what another student thinks about this question. Good evening and welcome to See Results. Okay, unfortunately I lost that call there, but I would really like another call here. Hopefully somebody can tell me yes, they think this is appropriate, but I want to know why, right? I want to have or be able to have 2 answers, right? So we will know, or we can even decide which one we would like to go with. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Hello, good night.
Hi, good evening. What's your name?
Dovon Powder.
Nice to have you with us. So what is your answer for number 43?
No.
No?
Yes.
Okay, why?
Because the illustrations does not refer to the cool kid troubles.
Okay, no problem. Thanks for calling.
Thanks.
Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to share this answer with you, right? Now, your answer can be yes or your answer can be no. We already said why. If it's no, the reason why, right? Let's see if it's yes. Yes, because kids love birds and butterflies, meaning that if they see that probably on a poster, that will appeal to some children, right? Some children, they like or to see things visually, so a visual representation. And if they see a bird or they see a butterfly, that might draw their attention. Or, yes, because birds and butterflies hang around fruits and vegetables that are mentioned in the flyer, right? So they're saying here, fruits and vegetables, yes, that's healthy for us, but if you probably go in a garden or anything like that, you will see those types of animals hanging around, okay? Or no, because the illustrations have nothing to do with the vitamin chewies. Again, it's how you explain your answer, right? So either one is correct. That's really up to you and your explanation. So good, we have completed 2 graphic representations so far, and now we are on to this third one here. We just have about probably 10 minutes left, 12 minutes or so. We're going to see how much we can get done, right, with the time that we have left. So let's zoom in and read this graphic here. All right, this one says good study habits. So let's look at number 1 and 2 first. So number 1, time and place. Set aside a regular time and place to study, right? So good study habits. When you read that heading, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? What do you think this flyer is going to talk about, right? So pay attention to the details that you are giving you here. Now, yes, it's details for a graphic for you to answer questions, but there might be 1 or 2 tips that will help you as an individual to gain some good study habits if you are struggling with, finding time to study or how to study or anything like that, right? So also it is very informative. So you can probably take away a thing or 2 from it, right? So let's go back here. Good study habits. Again, written in bold and in capital letters across the entire sheet. Number 1, time and place. Set aside a regular time and place to study. So that's your first tip. Number 2, concentrate. Cut out distractions. Take a short break now and then. Number 3, understand. In math and science, the first step is to understand the problem. What is given? What is the problem? Number 4, big idea. While reading textbooks, look for the main thoughts in each paragraph and chapter. Number 5, be informed. Get additional information from outside sources, other books, magazines, people, etc. And number 6, recap. Rewrite the important ideas in your own words. Remember them, right? So let's look at this graphic here. We know the heading is written in bold capital letters. If you take a step back and you look at it, you will see that there are 6 pointers or 6 tips or 6 things that they are telling you that you can do in order to have good study habits, right? Or how to promote good study habits, right? So essentially that is what this flyer is about. They're teaching us how to have good study habits, right? Things to do. And there are 6 things that we can do. Each of those things, we'll see here that they are numbered, right? So we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It makes it easy to read and easy to follow. And each one under the numbers, there is a heading, right? So for example, big idea. And they explain to you what is a big idea and how is that a good study habit, right? So what I'm trying to tell you here, you see how they put across the information? Pay attention to that, right? There's a reason they wrote this graphic as they did, right? If something is written like this, will it be easy for you to read or will it be difficult for you to read? Now, I'm not trying to influence your answer. For me personally, if I get a graphic like this and I'm reading this, the text or the font might be difficult to read, right? Some people prefer if their font is larger, some prefer small, some don't have a preference, right? So I'm telling you this because all of these details here help you to understand the graphic, right? So pay attention to all the details as I have been saying over and over and over, right? Essentially, that is what a graphic is about, sharing or giving some sort of information, right? Number 39, we have a call on the line already, so we're going to take this call to help us with this question. Good evening and welcome to See Results.
Good evening.
Hi, welcome. What's your name?
Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name?
Tanika also.
Nice to have you with us. So
And the purpose of the flyers for a person who wants to study to have good habits.
Okay, all right.
To study as.
No problem. I'll take that answer. Right? So the purpose of this flyer. Thanks for calling. Okay, caller, thank you. Right, so the purpose of this flyer is to inform readers of good study habits. So they want people or they want to share information about good study habits. So any answer along those lines relating to good study habits, you are correct, right? It's about sharing information, helping people, or, helping you to get in the mood, of developing good study habits. Number 40. State 2 elements of the design that make it easy to read the poster. Now this question here, when you read it, you have to reread it, right? You have to ensure that you understand what they are saying. State 2 elements, right? So what are elements? Right? State 2 elements of design that make it easy to read the poster. Now if you're not sure what they mean by elements, I'm going to break this down for you. When they say state 2 elements of the design, right? So you can, of course, highlight the key words that will make it easy for you to understand. If you don't know what elements mean, in this case, look at the phrase, elements of the design, meaning the design of the poster, right? So state 2 things that make it easy to read about the poster, right? So 2 things in the poster that helps you to read it, right? So I'm going to take this call, and I'm going to see if this caller can answer this question. Good evening, and welcome to See Results.
Hello?
Hi, good evening, welcome. What's your name?
Josiah.
Nice to have you with us. So what is the answer for number 40?
I could see the poster, please.
Sure, sorry.
I'm not seeing the poster.
Okay, just give it a second, you'll see it now. You can probably just zoom in a little bit there. Are you seeing it now?
Yes, I've seen it.
Right, so we want to know, state 2 elements of design that makes the poster easy to read. What do you understand by elements of design?
Elements of design means the way how it is.
Yes, exactly.
The font size.
Yes, not only font size, what else? So, right, so that's one answer, the font size. What else makes it easy to read?
The layout.
The layout, right? What about the layout? What specifically about the layout?
The numbering.
Yes, right? So you are correct, and that your answers are correct as well, right? So thanks for calling. So the elements here of design, right? Number of things, just as the caller said, the layout. Are you there, caller? Okay, right. So looking at the elements of design, we have a number of things here, right? It is numbered. It is numbered, so it's easy for you to go across to read it. Also, the headings or the subheadings, right? They are written in bold capital letters, so it's easy if you want to go back to understand the point and understand. It will be easy for you to detect and to identify, right? It will be easy for you to see. So the font, the layout, the subheadings, right? All of those things are elements of design, and they make it simple for you to read. Right? 2 elements that make it easy to read are the details are in point form. That's another thing, right? The details were written in point form in a table. So that's 2 things. They're in point form. Also, it's in a table format. Each point is clearly numbered, and the font is large and easy to read, right? So All of those things are elements of design. I do hope you understand what you mean by that, and that you will be able to break down your question if you get such a question, right? So that was number 40. I'm not going to move on to number 41 and part A and B today. We are quickly running out of time, right? And as you know, we must share a little bit of information on our Edmodo class. But don't worry, tomorrow when you join us again for ELA, we are going to continue with graphic, right? We just have a few more to do. I want you all to master this very well. I want you to be able to get 10 full marks in this section, right? You have absolutely no reason, right, not to get 10 marks there, right? I'm going to try to ensure that you do. So Edmodo is our online class. As you know, we post quizzes every Saturday, and we get them marked by the end of the week for you to review feedback, whether it's creative writing, and you know that the mathematics and the ELA is marked automatically, right? Those parents who are joining us and you would like your child and you as well to join the class, right? See what's going on, join the community, discuss about things that you are having issues with at school, so questions in mathematics, you know, those come up or arise a lot. Right? Join the class, become part of the forum, right? The instructions are really easy for both students and parents to register with us. Of course, you must know the class code, right? It's written here for you. It's on your screen as well. Enter that class code and you will become a participant really easy. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube page, not only our Edmodo class, but our YouTube page as well. And just remember, if you missed an episode, you can rewatch See Results as soon as the live has ended. Of course, you can also go back on our videos on See Results itself. There are all the videos that we have done thus far since we started last November. And also, if you prefer YouTube, you can go on YouTube as well, search See Results, and the tags are there for you, clearly labeled, right, of all the episodes that we have completed so far. So you have many avenues in which you can rewatch any episode that you desire. Also, there are replays every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday right here on IBN TV, Channel 8. So there's also another chance for you to catch the videos, right, guys? Thanks for joining us today with mathematics and ELA. We do look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We have creative writing and ELA. Make sure to tune in. Invite your friends, your parents, and your neighbors, okay? We want everybody to join us, be a part of our See Results program. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. I do hope you have a wonderful evening, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, guys.